offering a free boarding courtesy for those customers with disabilities for JetBlue Flight 1478 to Boston.
I mean, to write a novel, I mean, I guess there's novels that could be really, it's hard all the way through. I didn't think how that way. Think about how they thought about this. Anyway. Nice to meet you.
120 writers. And our conference has created real magic, giving writers the opportunity to reconnect on a deep level with their writing practice, to believe in the work that you do, and to build a vibrant network of writers. Now, there were two big reasons why I founded the Institute. The first is that I believe when we gather together, like we're doing now, as a community, and we support one another in a space of compassion and creative collaboration, we create a kind of medicine that helps to feed the soul. When I began the program, I'd been writing for nearly my entire life. I'd gone to undergraduate, I'd gone to graduate school for fiction, and in my mind, I imagined that I'd be joining a sort of artistic expatriate scene of authors and poets and artists all working together collaboratively to produce art. Well, it turned out that the actual experience of writing was a lot more isolated. Often what writing really looks like is a lot of alone time, trying to squeeze writing in between the daily tasks of life, parenting, working, shopping, all the piles of laundry that need folding. In short, a million reasons not to write. Where was the collaborative art scene that I'd imagined? So, not finding the community I dreamed of, I decided to create a space where we could be together for a week and play artistically. I was also surprised to find how much competition existed in the writing world. There was plenty of faceless rejections, and of course that nemesis known as the internal critic, not to mention the external critics that's all too ready to deflate the magic of our creativity. And so I wanted to create a space where we could have a vacation from the internal critic and the external critic, at least for a week.
is you take a fucking freeway, and then you started in Paris, and then you're in Riverside County, and that's like 45 minutes. And then traffic hits, and we don't know when the fuck we're getting back. Where are we? That's sometimes how the metaphor goes. So it's about kind of rounding it out and bringing yourself back to it. So if it's about growth, or you're talking about a flower, taking a very specific flower and then tracing that flower's roots. And if it is a displaced flower, if it's a so-called invasive species, why is it called that? Who displaced that flower and planted it in this new place? And how is it surviving? And what is it eating up? Like, how do you expand and move your starting point of growth into something more? And
I think really excited about just being on that end of the room. So for those who might have forgotten, my name is Hannah Faye. I read last night. It's just such a pleasure to be here on Martha's Vineyard with all of you. I wanted to just give you a sense of what to expect in this class. So we're going to do some introductions first, and then we're going to do a little bit of a writing exercise based on the handout, just to warm up. And then from there, we'll go into some partner work and have some time for sharing and reflection. But I wanted to check first, do people have photos or documents or things that you brought with you to work from? You do?
Doesn't end well for our heroes, alright? But in it not ending well for them, it starts a new hope for others. So even if there are sacrifices, I think it's important for art media to remind us that we have a future, and it can be hopeful.
died on the inside. This body turned into a graveyard, where the headstones are etched with the names of every promise you buried. My ribs creak like rusted gates, swinging open to let the chill of your absence settle in the marrow. The soil beneath my skin is heavy with the weight of wilted memories. Dead flowers' roots tangled in my lungs, making each breath a slow excavation of grief. I tend to the plot each day. The ghost of your touch still wander the pathways of my spine, whispering apologies I'll never believe. But one day, I'll reclaim this land. Scatter the seeds of forgiveness over the ashes of us. This body will bloom again, leaving the past for the worms and wood, decomposing my heart into the richest compost. I'll prepare the earth for resurrection so that when the warmth of spring returns, healing can take root and flourish in my open arms. Thank you. Like most ordained things, I waited for you to find me. I was the hue of summer, mimic trendy curvature seen on the girls you starved to be. We both wanted a life off the rack, to be more than something someone could just try on or return without a receipt of all they promised. Together, we distressed many curfews, unbuttoned our mouths in back seats, stretched the limits of how many stains, counted our mistakes, the callousness of our desires, showed in who we folded our bodies with, knowing we outgrew the lonely nights. We lived through many cycles, many fuckboys, shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and lovers. Your desires to suit the idea of dressing for the nightclub pageant soon faded, and now the threads of that time collect dust. Still, I'll wait in this closet, hoping we might one day fit again. Thank you.
A huge round of applause. I got tears in my eyes, as I think many of you did during this reading, and sometimes the heart is so full, it swells so big that the only way is to push tears forward so it can have more room. Yeah. You know, and that's the thought that came to me just listening to all of you and the bravery and the beauty of what happens, what we're doing. And I want to thank you all as the director and founder of this. It just hits so deep to see the work you're all doing. So thank you.
Thank you.